I find the Cenk Uygur's journey to be quite fascinating. And another journey that's equally fascinating is that of Bernie Sanders. I'll start with Bernie Sanders first because there's a lot less to talk about him. He recently got invited, I think it was on MSNBC, and he was asked if Biden should ask one of the judges on the Supreme Court to step down so he can nominate someone else. And Bernie Sanders went like, no, no, he shouldn't. He should leave Sotomayor where she is. Yeah, like just don't bother. Like, and he didn't want to elaborate. And a lot of people found that weird because obviously it would have been advantageous for the Democrats if they get to name another judge of the Supreme Court rather than to allow Trump to do it. So people started getting a little bit more interested in Bernie Sanders. This is like, is he a MAGA guy now? Is he a MAGA supporter? And one of the things that the Trump administration has promised is to actually mess with the credit card companies, to start regulating Visa and MasterCard a little bit more. And this is where Bernie Sanders comes in, and he has a post on Twitter saying that he is glad to work with the Trump administration in order to accomplish this. And this is an incredibly savvy political move because he has been campaigning for this. Like, if people follow Bernie Sanders, like, he was against big banking and all of this in many of his speeches. But the way people can view him now is that, okay, well, if he actually does work with Trump and he manages to regulate Visa and MasterCard, then he's a savvy politician that took a good opportunity when he saw one. And if Trump doesn't do it, then Bernie Sanders can hold him accountable, so he can get more votes that way. But what's interesting is that not a lot of leftists see it that way. A lot of leftists see him as a traitor now. Even though he was campaigning on the same issue for years, because like he is now willing to work with the MAGA administration, they view him as a heretic. And the exact same thing is happening with Cenk Uygur. Now Cenk, I actually did watch the Young Turks in the beginning, and I've been watching the Young Turks for a while because I want to get my information both from left-wing and right-wing sources. And it's true, like, Cenk actually doesn't like the way the military-industrial complex is set up in the United States. And this is not just Cenk, like, this used to be a cornerstone of left-leaning ideology. It's only until recent years that you see the Democrats becoming the establishment, that they are also more in line with the military-industrial complex, and they're becoming more war hawks like the neocons. But from Cenk's perspective, and I'll give him credit to this, he was always against the military-industrial complex. So he messages Elon Musk on Twitter and goes like, oh, Elon Musk, so now you're in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency. Why don't you name me in charge to deal with the Pentagon? And obviously he meant this as a, like a snide remark, like he didn't expect any response. He was just trying to be a cheeky little shit, an agitator on Twitter to prove that Elon Musk is actually a hypocrite, right? Because Cenk Uygur has spoken about this for years, and he's got a lot of experience, so Elon Musk actually misses out on talent if he doesn't hire Cenk and put him in his office. But to Cenk's surprise, Elon Musk actually responded. Like, he actually engaged, and he said, any type of opinion is welcome. Like, if you got any suggestions, Cenk, I'm all willing to hear it. So this is where Cenk is like a little bit bewildered. He's like, wait, what? Like for years, I've been trying to reach out to Democrats that are populists, and not a single one responded to me, despite the fact that I own the largest left-leaning online podcast. And now you have Elon Musk, that's a right-winger, and he's responding, okay, fine. Why don't you make it so that generals who work in the public sector get barred from working in private for a couple of years? Because, like, they get a lot of money that way. And Donald Trump Jr. responds to Cenk Uygur, and he says, this is a great idea that has been discussed. So now Cenk is absolutely mind-fucked. He's like, hold on a little bit. Maybe these people actually want to accomplish what they are saying. Like, I understand that I disagree with them on a lot of social issues. They may not respect my trans rights, and They may not be on board with the LGBT movement and other things. But when it comes with the government, they genuinely seem to be populist. Like they unironically seem to want to accomplish what they're setting out to do. And this is when Cenk gets a lot of flack. Like there's a lot of leftists attacking Cenk now, and he just doesn't get it why it's happening, which is kind of surprising because he has been doing this consistently through the previous Trump administration. And the previous Trump administration was marked by people like Cenk that were nonstop counter-signaling. If Trump would say, oh, I read this in the New York Times, or I saw this on the Young Turks, then they would make videos saying, no, Trump's a liar, this is false, misinformation. They would start debunking their own articles. Like for instance, if the New York Times published something, like no one would debunk it, unless Trump would read the article, and then they would debunk it. If Trump would say, oh, good morning, America, they would say, well, what are you talking about? It's an awful morning. Look, can't you see it's raining? So, like, literally anything that Trump did would be counter-signaled, and it went to the point where the Babylon Bee wrote an article. As they were trying to impeach Trump, they were basically saying, it's like, okay, Trump now supports his own impeachment, so the Democrats have to be against it. But, like, that was the level, right? So, like, now Cenk is getting counter-signaled. He's basically saying, like, look, and it's the same with Bernie Sanders. They're basically saying, like, look, we've been having these platforms that are against Visa and MasterCard. We're having this platform that's against the military-industrial complex, and not a single Democrat was listening to us. But it seems that the current administration might listen. Like, they won the election anyway. Why can't we work together on this? Like, we can't change the result of the election. We can't get a leftist in. Like, this is the person that's in charge, and this is who we're going to have to deal with. And it's like, okay, so what if they're on the right? Like, as long as we're on the same page on this issue, we can work together on this issue and argue on other issues. No, this cannot happen. Like, and they call right-wingers a cult. I remember when Elizabeth Warren, who's a leftist, like, she came out and she was talking about cracking down on big tech censorship and how she is worried that big tech has a lot of power. And I made a video and I say, you know, sure, I mean, I'm against censorship. I don't care if a leftist comes up and has a platform that's against censorship. That's a great thing. And not a single right-winger disagreed with me. Like, everyone was like, yeah, I mean, but, you know, like, she's still in power. She's still in office, right? Like, and if she has that platform, might as well use it. The only people that were a little bit skeptical were centrists that were saying, oh, well, I don't trust her. Or, like, okay, fine, you know, that's understandable. But, like, they're not saying that they're not trusting Elon Musk to do it. It's like they're basically saying, why is Cenk Uygur talking with Elon Musk? That's the problem. So when they say that right-wingers are in a cult, with this type of behavior, I don't know. I generally don't know. Like, part of being a cult is not being allowed to talk to suppressive people, right? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.